Hello and welcome to Peaceful Rebellion and
Alternative interactions.
with Gary. Gary, hello, lovely to see you again. How are you?
I'm very good, Gordon. Thank you very much. And it's lovely to see you again. How are you?
I am top of the pops. I am super duper. Yeah.
Tremendos, as I think they used to say back then.
Tremendous. I am. Yeah, there's more than one. Um, Gary, we had a chat before when we were organizing this and we were saying maybe we could do maybe half of the chat talking to the emissaries with some questions from you. And then the other half of the chat just chatting maybe about what came up and what we think about what came up. Yeah.
Yeah,
Is that,
that sounds absolutely amazing.
and you
Looking forward
prepared
to
some
it.
questions as well, haven't you?
I have got a couple of free questions or four questions that, depending on the answers, I may add ad lib because we
Yeah,
did last time.
sure. Yeah.
If we get an answer that needs clarification or leads to something else, I will obviously go off piste, as they say.
Fantastic, fantastic. Okay, so before we started the chat, I was already sort of connecting with the emissaries and I got their permission that we could do this and all of that. But if you just give me just a moment, I'm just gonna get in touch and just check that they're still there. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. All right. Ask away.
Superb.
Listening.
So, again, Emirates, appreciate your doing this again, and thank you very much for the answers that we receive or do not receive. um, my first question, I think I'm going to go straight into it, is many of us are feeling a little bit burnt out at the moment. Um, will we see that needed boost soon? That kind of honey in the coffee, that sweetener that I think many need to maintain that really vital vibrational frequency that we need to maintain to keep this movement going, please.
Okay. So what they're saying is that right, people in our situation, what we need is what we need is to see some confirmation. That's the word they're using.
Yes.
We need to see some confirmation of what we're saying. You know, when something that we've been saying happens and we go, aha, so it gives us that boost, doesn't it? Yeah. So what they're saying is this, and this is something that they said to me this morning as well. It was like a biggie. They said that we are in this period of revelation at the moment, and that no matter how much we want to get through it, we've got to go through the period of revelation. And if this is the period of revelation, we're here. Okay, so we've got the biggest bit to go through. We're not in the biggest bit yet. And what they're saying is that the we are going to go through a period coming up now, very, very soon, coming to a world near you soon. We're going into a period of such great revelation that even for us who know mostly what's going on, it's going to be a wowzer heavy. Wowzer, right? They're not saying it's going. We're not going to be clicking our heels and jumping for joy. Maybe at some point we might find it overwhelming as well. That it's like, wow. And what they're saying is that the revelation is going to be so big coming up. We've got to go through this, where we will realize that everything that we believe, everything that we've been told, everything that we believe is solid, we'll find out is a fabrication, is not real. So the revelation is that what the word that they're using is the revelation is the destruction of everybody's beliefs, the destruction of their everything will crumble, and it'll be because when are we going to have honey in our coffee? This is not what they're giving me. It's going to be very heavy, but the fact that it happens will give us hope. will make us feel good because we know we're on the right track. We know what we were saying was right. And they said that we've got to prepare ourselves. This is going to be, that expression, everything that you know is a lie. That's what we're going to go through. And they said it's going to be big. Obviously, for us, it's going to be shocking. For the people who aren't ready for it, God only knows what that's going to be like. Yeah.
That actually has answered 3 or 4 of my questions that I had down straight away, because we have a time scale, and I know they don't give us a time scale. The fact that you were able to say it's that long and we're at this part of it, for me, the width of your hands meant that we were at least 2/3 more to go through.
To go.
Yeah. Now, for me personally, I see April as a springboard into something, and I think July will be very, very, very big. Now, I'm not going to ask them the timescales and stuff, but would I be correct that because of the planetary alignments in these 2 key months, are we kind of on the money of that we're going to see some massive revelations coming out in that period around the July period, just so that people can hang on to something, please?
Mm-hmm. Okay, so the word that they're using, the word acceleration, is saying like from this point going forward, we're in acceleration period. So it's been going. I thought it was going fast already, but they said it's actually at the point where it's going to. And this is a warning that not a warning, but they said to me this morning, be prepared. It's just about to go into wowzer mode. So. Yes, in terms of, and I've heard, I listened to a guy this morning, great astrologer, who happened to do a whole video whilst his washing machine. I listened to the entire cycle of his washing machine up to the spinning. I was thinking, why would you do that with a washing machine next to you? But he was talking about April is the springboard. April is the springboard. And especially the front end is going to be absolutely wowzer. Yeah, it's the beginning of the end, I suppose. Is that the beginning of the end? Yeah. And that's the idea that they're giving me, is that it's just about to go wild.
Yeah, that's brilliant. Now, very recently, and I know recently in our time and their time is not the same thing, but a friend of mine in December videoed a UFO. A personal friend of mine. Are these UFO craft something that is going to also bring a quickening to or support to us as we move forward?
Okay, let's have a listen. This isn't something I've talked to them about a lot, for whatever reason. Let's see. Okay. So what they're saying is that this is all part of the revelation that's going to happen, where we're going to find out that. Because I said to them, are we going to find, is the revelation that we discover that this is just a virtual reality and this is like, it's all fake? And they said, not that far. It's not that we're going to discover that this is a virtual reality and it's just a game that we've all decided to opt into. But they said, we're going to discover that everything that we thought was solid is not. And everything that we thought, all of the conspiracy theories, all of the things that used to be poo-pooed and, like ridiculous and no, and all of that's going to come out and it's going to be so great. And that the same with these things, like the things that people are seeing and all of that, it's all part of this revelation. It's time for everything to come out. And so, yes, it's part of the acceleration of the revelation that leads us to where it is that we're going to go to. So yeah, they're not saying no, that won't happen or whatever. They're saying they just said it's all part of the same thing.
Yeah. And this has been asked previously on other channels.
Okay.
Those in the UFOs that are there for disclosure, are they friendly towards us? Have they got a supporting role for humanity, please?
Okay. Because they said, yes, the real ones. But the ones that are pretending, no. The ones that are pretending to be that, the fake ones, they're not. And that's going to be the issue, I think. And, the bodies fully know what's coming up. They fully know what's coming up. And so they have to then do the counter move. And the counter move is, let's make sure that people believe that they're bad. And let's give them some evidence, So that's what they're saying, is that there's going to be fake and there's going to be real. And the fake is the one, when you see them being bad, threatening, it's going to be the end of humanity. That's the bad. That's not real. It's pretend.
And that's exactly my understanding of it. Because I think that links into, if we're going down the conspiracies that will not be soon, Project Bluebeam and all the other bits and pieces that we know about or we suspect. And so that is all part of that for sure,
Yeah.
A drone with the right kind of visual that goes with it can be a very convincing thing, can't it?
Absolutely. Yeah. It's interesting that if you look at all of the official footage of these kind of things, it's shit. It's shit quality. It's like, what have you videoed that on your grandmother's Nokia phone or what? Like, what is that? Surely the Army, the Navy, the Air Force have high quality recording, and you see this like shit thing, and you think, well, I don't even know what it is.
Yeah.
So there's been a lot of hiding and a lot of avoidance of that. But I think it's coming to the point where they won't be able to. It's not in their hands anyway. All they can do is do a counter measure.
Now, from the answers we've had already, a lot of the conspiracy theories are going to come true, which is not a surprise really for many of our audience watching. Is there something that's going to come out? And I know you said that we're going to feel, well, there'll be things that will go, oh my God, for us. Like, oh, wow. Are there going to be, or is there going to be a specific revelation? They don't have to tell us what it is, but will there be something that will be almost a paradigm shift for us that consider ourselves awake or researchers, whatever? Will there be something that will enable us to really get that oh my God moment, that's not a conspiracy theory, that's something that's completely brand new to us, that links everything together?
Because as you talk, they're telling me, as you're talking as well. So I'm kind of like, I've already got the message that they're giving me, and they don't get into those sort of details. But what they said is this: they said the reason it's going to be impactful for us, who already know, is the actual volume of the realizations of the lies that have been told to us. The volume. And what they showed me was like us saying, but are they not going to leave me anything? That's what can you not just leave me one thing that I believed, So it's this overwhelming taking away of everything. Even for us, I think, we believe things, and I think, we choose to, all you have to do is talk to four conspiracy theorists and you're going to hear four different kinds of beliefs about whatever the case is. And they said everything's just going to be taken away from us. Like, it's almost like we're going to be left naked, like the day we were born. Like, now I have to rebuild everything, or I have to take on new information. Yeah. So that's what they're saying, is that the wow factor is going to be just the volume of it, how there's nothing's going to be left standing. God knows what that's going to be like. I don't know. I'm a bit worried about that.
Well, yeah, I mean, it sounds huge. Now, something that we've spoken about, and we kind of did a show on it previously, was that we know nothing.
Yeah.
And I've had conversations with friends, and I regularly have these conversations where we observe two different truthers, two different researchers, discussing the same thing from two different angles, but it's their belief, it's their understanding of the information that's been worked out via what we've been given by the dumb elites.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
So my next question would be, are we actually going to have in solid stone things that we will understand, and there will be no leeway? It will be this. It will be 100% this, and there is no choice. You know what I'm trying to express with that?
Okay. So what this is showing me is that the first stage of this is for everything to fall away and for us to be left at zero. And then what they're saying is, little by little, we will then be given. But they're showing, you know what? They're showing me this is not like a right away thing. It's like, right, here I am ready now to take on new information, and it's on our path, the path that we're on. They're showing me that as we go along, we're going to be given more and more of the truth, but not all in one go. Like, it's going to be a slow build, probably because it would be too much. It's like saying to an amoeba, by the way, you're an elephant. I beg your pardon. So I think that what they're showing is that it's going to be a slow build, and as we develop and as we develop ourselves, then as we become stronger, we'll be given more and more information until at this new whole timeline. By the end of the timeline, we will have everything that we need. But it's going to be a slow build, just purely because I think maybe it's going to be so awesome that it needs time.
Yeah, because I think it'd be very easy to fracture minds. Not necessarily so much some of us more open to minds, but there's something that I was told once many years ago, and it's kind of true with wolf packs as well. They will only go at the speed of the slowest person can absorb and take on. So in a wolf pack, they'll put the elders at the front to set the pace so that nobody's left behind. This is exactly what you're describing, isn't it? This is what they're saying with my analogy.
And what they've just shown me is this, as you're saying that's a perfect analogy, beautiful analogy. The job that we have to give messages won't end, because what they're saying is that I'm saying we, it's all the people who do this kind of work. We will be still 20 yards downriver saying, this is the next thing that's coming. Except the thing is, we'll be giving good news, which is nice. But this is the next thing that's coming. And it's kind of like our messaging will prepare people to accept the next stage. So this is an ongoing thing all the time. There's always going to be the people saying, this is what's coming up next. It just happens it'll be nice information.
So in other words, we will be given soft disclosure and predictive programming of the positive rather than the way it's been all of our lives, as in the negative. They'll say, oh my God, this is going to happen. Panic, panic, panic. And then they will implement something to create that issue. We're going to turn it 180 degrees and it's going to be positive. So will it be the majority of truthers, or will there be some people who will become natural spokespeople that get this information?
Always,
that makes sense.
What they're saying. Oh, that's always going to be the case. That because the way that it works is that the way that we work is that we need to hear something a few times. The power of 3, the power of 50. Hear it a few times, and by the time that it happens, then it's completely natural. And so what they're saying is that system is always going to be used, and it's used all the time with us because it helps the transition. It's a transition process that we need. And they said that there's a lot of people who are coming along with us who are at the back end, who are just waking up. And so they're going to need time. I mean, they're going to have to, they're doing this accelerated, everything's going to fall and then everything's got to start building again. It's going to be a tough journey for them. So yeah, they need this help from a few. It doesn't make sense for everybody involved in saying what's going to happen, but it's just that they've always existed, haven't they?
Yes, they have.
The prophets, the people who signal,
Yeah. Now, I see this personally, in the way my mind works, as if we're getting all this truth. I've seen that the governments are going to fall worldwide, and infrastructures of things that do not serve us, let's put it that way, in a nice soft way, will fall. Will there be a semi-organized, controlled mechanism that is being supported via UFO embassies or whatever that will become the semi-official support network that's there to support those that require it, because there's going to be a lot that will?
Okay. So they said that all of the restructuring, all of the rebuilding, and the maintenance of the important, because the important is still going to be maintained. That's all for us. We are going to do that. But in terms of the guidance, they said the guidance that we have now will continue. There is the guidance. We will always be guided. We are always guided, and so whatever that, because they don't, for whatever reason, they don't want to go there specifically. They've said this to me before, that it's not part of their group. It's something very separate. It's more, how can I put it? They're more ephemeral. They are attached, but they're not as attached or something. And they're saying that it's different. It's just a different vibe. But what they're saying is, whatever the help that we've got now, that we're not seeing so much, but it's there. As we go on, that's going to become more and more obvious. But that it's always going to be there as a guidance for us, but to guide us, because we are going to build this.
Yes. Yeah. I don't see it as an organic movement as such. I see it as a supported organic movement via different energies or beings perhaps that then take on to that phase of the so it could be as simple as whoever's in those craft that are flying around that we're seeing could be the ones that have the boots on the ground rather than the general support and the overriding support or information that you get via your channeling, Gordon. Would that be a good summary of it?
Yes, because the thing, what the emissaries can't do, or what they refuse to do, I don't know whether it's because they can't, is anything that involves boots on the ground, what's happening, who's doing what, who's doing that, they don't do it. They don't get involved. They won't get into the mechanics of what happens in this realm. They can only talk about everything on an energetic level and on a journey level. So maybe that's why they can't get into that, because that's boots on the ground type of involvement, which isn't their thing, you know.
They're still connected to it, but it's not their division. It's not their department almost,
Yeah.
which makes sense.
But it's the nuts and bolts, and they don't get into the nuts and bolts of it. How exactly, you know. They're always just very, very, don't worry about it, this is going to be okay. Like when I say, you know, how when everything falls, what's going to happen, don't worry, there's still going to be, you know, there's still going to be support, and it's very general.
Yeah. But the fact that they're saying that support mechanism is there for us should give everybody in the audience confidence to trust and know that it's going to be okay.
We're going to be looked after. We're going to be looked after. Yeah, for sure.
Well, that is very, very, very interesting.